people, what's up? It's me, Sonita, back with another video. Yes, I know it's been a long time.
Well. Next question. See ya.
Let's get right into the video. This video is about applying for a Fulbright US student grant, which I have talked about in a couple of other videos before. A Fulbright grant is what allowed me to come to Paris, where I currently live, to conduct research for my dissertation study. Fulbright changed my life in a lot of positive ways, and I want to give back by being able to answer some of the questions I get from a lot of you out there in the world about how you can write a really strong essay to potentially win a Fulbright and go do something really dope in the world, be that teach English or do your own research project or get a degree from some kind of graduate program. If you have not already applied, it is too late until next October, but that is okay. More information ahead of time is going to help you prepare yourself to write the strongest essay. That is what we're going to talk about. I am paid by my university to actually read applications for Fulbright because I want a Fulbright, so I have expertise in the area, and I have read hundreds of drafts of Fulbright essays, both the personal statement and the statement of grant purpose. So I would definitely consider myself a veteran, a maverick, if you will, at the kinds of drafts that we're seeing from elite students. And I know that I have determined some pitfalls that are very common in a lot of essays that I see that you can avoid. And the reason I'm saying this is I have access to the winning essays from students at the university. Every year, about 30 students from University of Pennsylvania actually win Fulbright, which is really dope. It's a really high number. And so I have access to seeing a lot of those essays, not all of them. And there are patterns that emerge, right? And there are also patterns that emerge for the not so great essays. These are some of the things that I see that I think you can and should avoid. So one of the number one things that I see in Fulbright US student grant application essays is the appeal to the reader with an attention-grabbing opener. The introduction of the essay is really important. When you read lots and lots and lots of essays over and over, your mind starts to look for certain patterns and it starts to get a little bit lazy, right? It starts to see the same things over and over and it skips over them. But what you want to do is maintain an active mind for the reader. You want them to be leaning in. You don't want them to say, okay, let's get to the point. Right now, I'm only talking about the personal statement. They will say something along the lines of, I've always done X. I've always loved riding bicycles since I was a child. I've always been obsessed with television mysteries. I've always been passionate about dancing. Something along those lines. One of the second really common things that people write. Ever since I was a kid, I have dreamt of doing X. Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt of being an astronaut. I have dreamt of living in Cuba. I have dreamt of writing a book. Third thing, growing up, I had a very typical childhood. Fourth thing, my parents, my brother, my grandparent, pick a hero, taught me blank when I was a child. I'm not saying you can't put this in any section of your essay. I'm saying that these are the most common things that I see in the first sentence of the personal statement. Why would I recommend that you not use any of these? Well, a few reasons. Beyond the fact that it's very common, which means that it doesn't entice the reader, it's not that I don't believe you. I'm sure that you've always been obsessed with Beyonce, that's fine. But you can relay that message in a way that's interesting and compelling to me. Show me instead of telling me. Don't say, I've always been obsessed with Beyonce. How would we know that evidence beyond you saying that? Well, you could start by saying, my walls are covered with pictures of Beyonce because I love her so much. That's the same thing as saying, I've always been obsessed with Beyonce, but you're showing me. Since I was a kid, I've always dreamt of. It's the same kind of a thing. You don't have to say those words. You can use an anecdote to illustrate what you mean, right? I had a typical childhood. Here's the problem with that. What is a typical childhood for anyone? What does that mean? We have a picture, we have a conventional wisdom of what a typical childhood means in the United States specifically, because that's who the Fulbright grant is reserved for. We could say, I grew up with my mom and dad and my siblings in a house. Is that what that means, right? But if you get into the nuances of anyone's life, no one had a typical childhood. And so I don't like it personally because I think it's reducing your story, which is an interesting, complex story that's unique to you, to a stereotype that isn't even real. You know, I knew that I was going to go to college because my parents had, and now I love teaching and I want to be in Fulbright. That is a very common opening narrative, but that doesn't really tell me anything about you that makes me know who you are, which is really important for a personal statement. And the last one, my mom, my dad, my brother, and ex taught me why. It's fine to have that influence, it's fine to discuss that, but I think you can use a different opener. So for example, I've seen really interesting quotations that people will start their essays with. I think that can be perfectly fine, especially if it's unique. You know, my grandfather would say this to me as he helped me learn to tie my shoes, right? Opening with this quotation, giving us an anecdote, explaining how it's related to your life today. The point of me saying that is not to discourage you once again from using these kinds of elements in your essay, is to encourage you to go further as a writer. You're smart, you're ambitious, you're talented, you're motivated. You have the ability to write something that is not the standard, generic, run-of-the-mill kind of opening sentence. So that is the first thing that I would recommend that you avoid, using a common and generic opening sentence for your personal statement. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I promise I'm out here, but I'm writing my dissertation and I'm still doing research, so I'm super busy, but I have so much love for the people who still write me emails, write me on Instagram, comment on my videos. Thank you so much. I really see and hear the love from you, and I promise you, you are the reason I continue to do Scholar Noire. There are going to be some changes to the channel that are coming up really soon. I'm very excited. And I'm also working on a larger project to help people win Fulbrights. I especially would love to see underrepresented groups winning Fulbrights. When I did my Fulbright here in Paris, I was one of a couple of other people of color at all in this group, a small group, but still I really want underrepresented groups to be out here because we have important things to say and do, and every time that we win and do these kinds of things, we're encouraging other people who think that it's not possible for them, because it totally is. If you're interested in learning more about my future project that's going to help you to write really strong essays and potentially win a Fulbright, please sign up for my tiny letter. I will be sending out those updates. So the link is going to be below, and then I'll put the link here or something like that. And then also, please check out Fulbright Noire, of which I am a co-founder, the wonderful Chi-Chi, who has her own YouTube channel, and she has a blog, and she's really active on Instagram, and basically is active in a lot of ways that I'm not. She has a PhD at the University of Michigan. She did her Fulbright last year in Belgium, and she asked myself and a couple of other really dope Black women if we wanted to create this platform for Black Fulbrighters. And our tagline is Bright and Black, and so if you are a Black Fulbrighter or if you support Black Fulbright grantees, go to our Instagram page. We are working on expanding it, but it's instagram.com/Fulbright Noire, Noire with no E, where we highlight the stories of Black grantees, past and president from all around the world who have done really cool things with Fulbright. So thank you so much. I really hope to make more videos very soon, much sooner than later. And I really appreciate you for watching. So stay tuned. Peace. Peace. Oh my gosh. Is this something that you have to do right now? Okay.